and welcome to the Divorce Lab. We're a group of independent professionals working to help educate the public on various topics related to divorce. I am Carrie Goldring, a certified divorce lending professional who specializes in mortgage planning.
And I'm Mark Avezai. I'm a certified divorce financial analyst. I work primarily in Troy, Michigan.
Hi, I'm Jim Chryssikos. I'm a family law attorney and mediator located in Troy, Michigan. So let's get started with today's show. So when a client retains me as an attorney, and I mentioned I would like to have you meet with a financial or a business valuation expert, talk a little bit about how you work with the attorney on the case, how you if at all, participate in mediation or settlement negotiations. Talk about your role in that regard.
Sure. So my sort of best advice right off the get-go is hire your expert early. For people who watch this that are football fans and have been for a while, they'll remember a guy named Bill Parcells, and he was lamenting the fact that he didn't get to make player personnel decisions. This was at a press conference probably 20 years ago. And he was saying something like, if they want you to cook the dinner, they should at least allow you to shop for the groceries. And that's so true when it comes to involvement of a financial expert. Get me involved early so I can help with discovery. I've been called on cases where discovery is already closed. And I say, well, here are the things that I need. Well, we can't get those things. Why not? Well, because discovery is closed. Well, you're kind of putting yourself behind the eight ball right from the get-go. Yeah. Okay, the discovery is still open, but we are 9 months into the case, and we're going to mediation in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So give us it's like Jerry Maguire. I'm just going to make a bunch of references. Jerry Maguire, help me help you. Yeah. So get me involved early. Allow me to participate in discovery, because some cases, especially when you're working for what we call the non-moneyed spouse, the spouse that doesn't control the information, we need to have time to get what we're looking for, and it could take months. We could spend 6 months just trying to get the information, and I've done it a number of times.
And that goes in with another question I was going to ask you, because a lot of times, if I'm doing a consultation for the non-business owner spouse, a lot of the times I'll hear, I don't know any of this information. I don't know how to get any of this information. I don't know how you're going to get this information. And the answer is you don't have to worry about it. We have tools that are available to us. We look, as the lawyers, look to you, the expert, as far as what we need to request. And there may be multiple waves of requests, and that's not unusual in these types of cases.
100% correct. In fact, my standard sort of template that I start with when I'm putting together a request for business valuation or income determination or any of that stuff, says that this is the first request. This is the initial request, and there are likely going to be follow-up requests. And it would be great if I sent that out at the beginning of a case and every item came back, perfectly labeled and fully responsive. That almost never happens. So at some point you realize you've gotten everything that you're going to get in that wave. You check things off, you clarify certain things that you're looking for, and you send out request number 2. And that, it's kind of, wash, rinse, repeat. We keep doing that until you get enough that you feel like, okay, I've got enough to do it. You never get everything. It's like you get to mediation, and if there are 52 cards in the deck and you got 35 of them, it's like, okay, we're doing all right. You're never going to get all 52, never. And one thing that some of the clients don't understand, the attorneys do, but the clients don't, is that, especially when working on the non-money spouse side, is we don't have, a magic wand that is just going to make all of the money just appear. I can't, just because you bring me in doesn't mean that I can, cast a spell over the accounts and they're all just going to show up, and all of the money that's been hidden will just appear in a spreadsheet.
Or that an owner who's been hiding income from the IRS for years is all of a sudden going to reveal it to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
A lot of my clients that I have that are not financially savvy, that have been in the dark for years, just assume that because I'm involved, the account, like I'm just gonna type my credentials into some database and all of the accounts that have been hidden are just going to be there. That's not the way it works at all.
This is especially true, right, when we're dealing with cash businesses, right? And there are quite a few. And
Yep.
talk about cash businesses a bit. Before you do that, I just want to reiterate what Ben said about getting a financial expert involved early is the most important thing. I would agree with everything that you said.
And I think that goes true for all professionals. The earlier everybody can get involved, the better it is, right?
Yep.
So we can relate to you, Ben.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that, again, clients don't really know this unless they're really familiar with the divorce process, and why would they be? But in Michigan, we're supposed to start and end a divorce in 12 months. And that's not like that everywhere. I've done some work in Illinois where cases can go on for 3 years. And we had some cases back when I was at my prior firm out of our Chicago office where I'd get involved because they needed an extra helping hand. And the case we would literally be 2 years into the case. And that just doesn't happen here. So you don't have time to mess around. You've really got to hit the ground running and work as quickly as you can. So, just bring us in early.
And a year sounds long, but it's not.
No, especially when you're waiting on discovery and you go round and round and round trying to get documents, especially if the other side is not being compliant.
So,
Mark, you wanted me to talk about the cash business thing?
Yep.
Yeah. So, and this is something that I talk to clients about as well, is if somebody is being really clever about how they're taking cash in, the chances of us finding it are very low. If cash comes in and all I'm getting from my client is, yeah, I know he takes cash, not any specific, not, oh, there was a job for this person, this client, not, I know something happened last January where he came home with $100,000 of cash. Just, I know he takes cash. It's very difficult, if not impossible, to find that unless he's very careless with his records. Sometimes there is a second set of books, but it's rare. And even rarer still that we get a copy of the second set of books. It's a lot easier to find expenses that were inappropriately expensed at the business than it is to find cash that was never reported, never deposited, never hit any sort of ledger. Not to say that's impossible. One of the ways that we can do that, especially with like a restaurant, is getting the point of sale report. So what I mean by that is that, if a restaurant is big enough to have some kind of point of sale system, some sort of register, what'll happen is all, in order for the kitchen to get to know that they need to make something, somebody has to ring it into the computer system. And what a lot of business owners will do is they'll ring everything through the computer system. All the sales go through the computer system, but then when they collect cash, they're not depositing any or all of the cash in the bank. So when the CPA goes to do the tax return, they're only looking at the bank deposits. And so the cash that was never deposited never shows up. And what we like to do in that situation is ask for the point of sale report. I can tell you that I've asked for point of sale reports in almost every restaurant valuation I've done, but I've only received it in probably 2 or 3. And that's because the owner plays dumb. The owner knows that will expose the difference. So it's all about, can you get your hands on the information? Sometimes we can, a lot of times we can't.
Thank you for listening to us today. You can find us on the divorcelab.com. You can feel free to take a look at our other episodes, and you can also leave some questions or comments for us on there as well.